Hey, everybody, it's John Graham with Acts 2. And as you can see, I am joined, or maybe it's this way. I don't know how this is going to record, but I am joined by Chip Rossetti with Rossetti Films, Rossetti Pictures. I'm so excited to have you with us, Chip. Thanks for hanging out with us for a second.
That's awesome, John. I'm glad to be here. We're excited to be working with X2 and everything that you guys have going on.
Well, we meant to have some time together at NRB last week in Nashville, but we were both running so hard. We pass each other and say, maybe maybe tomorrow, maybe 3 o'clock, maybe 6. So we just decided, forget it. We'll just do it digitally. And here we are. Man, thanks you so much for sharing 3 great projects with us. First, we got the Accidental Missionary. And we got Turbulent, and then we also have the Dream Motel. So walk us through those 3. Tell us a little bit about, the log lines of the pitch, kind of give us an idea about those films and what folks can expect.
Sure. Accidental Missionary was the second movie that my company produced, and it's basically a story about this Hollywood bigwig that accidentally gets on the wrong airplane going on a vacation. He thinks he's going on going to the beach, and ends up through a set of circumstances being at a missionary camp in Kenya, Africa. And it really, really kind of brings him down a peg. He's a real conceited kind of guy. He really starts to see the world, beyond his little bubble of perfection. And it's a comedy, it's sort of slapstick. But it's got a great, redemptive message to it. Turbulent was a movie we did 4 or 5 years ago. It's about a couple that are in a plane crash, and basically they're the only ones that survive, and they're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And they're a couple that has struggled in their marriage and had been on the verge of giving up. And these, the circumstance that they find themselves in is a fight for survival, but it's also a fight for the survival of their marriage. And it's got a very interesting twist at the end, which I think the viewers will love. And the Dream Motel is a 10-episode series that we did a few years ago that has had tremendous success all over the world. And it's basically the concept of, what would you do if you were given a second chance to change one thing in your life? Would you do it? And I kind of posed the question of, would you do it knowing that it would affect everything that happened after that, both good and bad? Or would you let it stay? Would you have made the same choice knowing that, your life has been affected beyond that, both good and bad? So it poses that question in 10 different episodes. And it's just really kind of a cool concept that we loved putting out there.
Yeah, it's really neat. And I personally am a huge Petra fan. I love the episode with John Schlitt in it. When I saw that pop up, we had friended each other on Facebook a few years when you were in the development making that happen. And I just saw that you were working with John Schlitt, and I was like, what? That's amazing. So fun. Chip, what's your philosophy on faith-based films? I mean, I know that it's not just, let's just pitch out a sermon, right, and make it narrative. Right. There's more to it than that. How do you try to approach those projects?
Well, my philosophy has changed and adjusted a little bit over the years, but the underlying philosophy has always been the same. And I think it's that we have to stop looking at it as its own genre. I think that's been the biggest thing, is that we're looking at Christian and faith-based as a genre. And I don't think it necessarily needs to be that way. I think we can do romantic comedies, we can do dramas, we can do, adventure movies, we can do psychological thrillers that have a positive and redemptive message without, kind of putting them in this little box, that is saying it's, which limits, I think, our audience. I think there's 3 types of Christian films. You've got your movies that are designed to strengthen the church community, which I think is desperately needed and, and has been prominent in this industry. You have your biblical epics, Passion of the Christ, the 10 Commandments, things like that are also exceptionally well needed. But I think there's a third type, which is, and I've said this for years, is the Great Commission type of movies. which are designed to reach outside the walls of the church, that are designed to reach people that may not otherwise step foot into the church.
Yeah.
And I think if you're constantly bashing them over the head, that you're just going to turn them off. But if you create quality content that has an entertainment value, but still influences people with a positive and redemptive message, you're more likely to open that door. And once that door is open, that's when the Holy Spirit can come in and actually start to affect a person.
Yeah.
But you've got to open that door first. And that's what we're trying to do.
Well, some great examples of that with those 3 titles that we just picked up. And we've been having a conversation prior to hitting the record button about hopefully getting some content exclusive to Acts 2 down the road, and how exciting that would be for us and hopefully for you as well. And so thanks so much, man.
Hey, man, it's my pleasure. And God bless you, and God bless what you're doing at Acts 2.
All right. Until next time, this is John Graham here, and fired up about Acts 2 and Chip Rossetti. So thanks again.